Hello and welcome to the stream. My name is T-Maz, this is the Construction Zone, and welcome to, as the title says below, a totally typical Friday stream. Yeah, we are keeping things as normal as possible for folks who just need a respite, who need a break from the madness. This is a place where you can decompress, you can relax, you can hang out and chat, and just set aside all the craziness going on at this time of year. Yeah, there are plenty of places, literally everywhere you look, if you want to see all the things going on. But if you need a break from it, I want to offer that space to folks. And so, hence the title, A Totally Typical Friday. And so, with that being said, we are looking to jump into a little Fortnite. But seeing as we're still doing our fundraiser for Able Gamers, I have some ideas up my sleeve. So I tell you, let's go ahead and jump over to the workshop. All right. For those of you who are familiar with the charity Able Gamers, you may already know this information, but for those of you who aren't familiar with them, Able Gamers gives people with disabilities custom gaming setups with things including like modified controllers and special assistive technology, such as devices that let them play with their eyes, excuse me, so they can have sorry, I had a cough. So they can have fun with their friends and family. Able Gamer uses the power of video games to bring people together, improving quality of life with recreation and rehabilitation. If Able Gamers is the type of charity that you would like to support and you love what they do, there is a link in chat that you can click to donate. For those of you who are watching the VODs or are watching later on YouTube, that URL is https://tiltify.com/the@Tmaz. And that will take you to my fundraising page, and from there the donation will go directly to Able Gamers. I am just a conduit. I never see the money, I never touch the money, I have nothing to do with the money. The money goes directly to the organization that you are supporting. So yeah, and if you are watching live or you're watching the VOD, there is also a widget down on the page a little bit lower where you can just click the link and it'll take you straight there. In fact, I believe the widget will allow you to donate without even leaving this page. It will just take you through the process directly from the widget. So yeah, so we are, as I said, we are in the process of fundraising for Able Gamers. And so I thought what would be fun is if folks come in and they would like to donate to Able Gamers, I will allow them the choice of telling me to switch games, to play something different. And yeah, so like any donation over $10, you can donate here, and when the alert comes through that you've donated, we will take a look at my library of games that I have, and there are quite a few, and we can talk about what you want me to play. And I do have to put the stipulation on there that it is a game that I already own. I'm not Daddy Warbucks. I can't afford to buy tons of other games. So yeah, but as long as it is a game I already have, we can switch over to playing it. And of course, it would be time permitting and et cetera, et cetera. You know, I can't stack up, 20 games and then play for the next 6 days straight. That wouldn't be safe for anybody. But yeah, so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to the game. All right. We are going to make a real quick double check. I'm sure it's already set, but I want to make absolutely sure. Yes, licensed audio is muted. Okay. And y'all just saw that on the screen. I just pointed at it. Licensed music muted. All right. We'll go back. All right. I currently have my characters set up to randomly choose one of my saved characters so that I don't have to keep going back to the locker and changing characters all the time. And it's right here. It has the presets have a shuffle on them, so it will just randomly pick one of my mini characters that I have to play with. So each time we get to see a new character. For the most part, I don't think I don't think I've seen it double up yet, where it's played the same character. But we are in Chapter 3, Season 1. We are at level 42. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. We currently have 2 battle stars. We have over 3,000 gold bars. We've been collecting those quite well. And the quests that we currently have open, we've already finished the daily bonus goals. The seasonal quests that are open, we have 3. Jumping through flaming rings in a vehicle. That one... I know where these rings are, like here and here. Let me rephrase that. I have an idea of where they are. I've accidentally run across them once and I can't remember how to get back to them, because these icons are kind of approximate to where the location is. But that's one of the things. Collecting stored items in a tent. Oh, collect stored items from a tent. Now this one's interesting because I did this and nothing changed. So I'm not entirely sure what is happening here. Like, I don't know what the specifics to this are. And I'm wondering if what the specific is that you have to store it between games. Like, you have to put things in a tent and leave it somewhere. And then on the next time when you come back, you go get it? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that works. So we could take a look at that, because that would be a nice chunk of change there. 25k in XP. Because it isn't just putting things in a tent and then taking them back out, because that didn't work. And then damaging opponents while sliding. I have a hard enough time just hitting opponents, much less hitting them while I'm sliding. That one may be a little out of my scope for a while. Milestones. We have done 50. We did the 50 out of 50. We are now doing the 55 out of 60 to get us through Tier 4. All we have to do is thank the bus driver one more time, so the very next time we play, we'll get this. Placing in the top 10, we do that fairly often. And that's not a humble brag, that's just, we tend to reach the top 10 fairly frequently. Let's say stage 2 of 10, spend bars. Spending bars, so to do that, you'd have to use vending machines. or you have to upgrade weapons, or you have to buy things from the NPCs. But we're getting awfully close to that. Searching chests and ammo boxes, that's something we do all the time. Catching fish, we need to catch about 10 more fish. So we might, you know, seeing as this is a chill and unwind stream, we may go fishing for a little bit at some point here. Destroying trees, we got a long way to go for that. Hunting wildlife, we just have 4 more to go on that. Let's see. Rebooting teammates, okay, that's not going to happen because we would have to be in something other than solos. Completing bounties, I typically don't do bounties. The reason this even has any numbers in it is because I've been squatting with friends, and my friends are very often they will do bounties. Eliminations. Just 5 more players. Consume foraged items. This I have a hard time with because you have to lose, obviously you have to lose health to be able to do that. And to lose health means, you know, usually getting shot at or something. So consuming foraged items, unless you carry them with you, but that just takes up another slot, so. Slots are already at a premium as it is. Let's see. Damaging opponents, that just comes as it comes. Destroying opponent structures. Yeah. We're getting pretty close on harvesting materials. I've been harvesting like a madman, trying to get as much harvested as I can. Let's see, using bandages or medkits, that just happens. Buying things out of vending machines, okay, we can do that. Travel while riding on a car or a truck. I actually did this earlier several times. And it didn't register here. So I'm wondering if the word on is very specific, like you can't get in the vehicle, you have to literally stand on top of it or something. I'm not entirely sure. And then opening vaults, again, that requires having other players because none of them are single player vaults. There are some special Shanta quests. I have done the first 4 of them. In fact, I've done the first 5. I only have 1 more to get this next piece of her armor. And to do that, we have to collect gem fragments near NPCs, or collect gem fragments on rivers using a vehicle. So you either have to drive your car or, you know, whatever non-water-based vehicle across the water to hit it to get the fragment, or you need to be in a boat. And then collecting gem fragments at landmarks, that one's super close. We only have to get 2 more. And the landmarks are just out here for some reason, underneath Greasy Grove. And none of those are necessarily landmarks. That's weird. But because these 2 are so close to each other, we could probably do both of these at once. So let's just tackle that. I think we should do the outer one first and then come in. So there. All right, so we'll collect gems. That'll be our first dive in. Well, at least while on stream. I've been playing a lot today. It was actually a really wonderful day. I Had the chance to play with some friends this morning. And then we stopped playing together. And then a little bit later in the day, I got to play again with one of those friends. We played a bit more. And then a different friend got online and played with them for a while. And then later after that, another different friend got on and we played. So yeah, there's been it's been really a wonderful day of playing some Fortnite with friends. It's been really fun. I've been having a really good day. Okay, so yeah, so we'll do the collecting the gem fragments. Oh, I do apologize. I'm sorry. The unfortunate downside is that I only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep last night because I was up really late and then I got up really early. So I do apologize and I'm yawning a little bit. I'm trying to work through it. And then let's see on our list here, Winterfest. We have already completed all of them for today. We won't be able to unlock any more quests until tomorrow. So the Winterfest ones are done for tonight. I can't do any more of those. So yeah, so we are gonna land here, and then once we collect that one, we are going to we'll ping this location and then we'll run up there and do that one. So let's go ahead and jump in so we can make this unbelievably repetitive song stop playing. Alright, we are jumping in as old school Lara Croft. Boingy, boingy. Boingy. Let's see if we can make it out to the boat. Quick, run. Can we make it to the boat? Oh, we didn't make it. Alright. Where is our ping? There it is, out there. We are going to be one of the last people off. Yep, there it is. Alright, we'll do it like this so we can easily see the number. Because once the number stops, that's about as close as we're able to get. But I have a feeling the bus is going to kick us off before we get close enough. Alright, here we go. We're diving in. Sometimes you can even see the crystal from the air. And there it is. You can see it. Oh, I thought I could. Yep, there it is. Alright, got that. We will snag the contents of this chest. Let's go ahead and drink the slurp. Get our shields up halfway. Alright, we've got a weapon. We have a main weapon. Huh? Another chest. Oh, we've got a sniper rifle. That makes me happy. Anything else? Can't do that. Alright, so the storm wants us to move that way, but we're going to look at our map really quick and look at our quest. Okay. Alright, so the storm is over there, so we need to boogie. We've got to do this fast. Because the storm is going to start collapsing pretty soon. So let's ping this marker. And let's haul. Where is it? Right there. Alright, let's go. Excuse me? Yep, that's fine. Now let's hope the shark isn't out here in the water. Yes, there's a shark. Yes, he does attack. Unprovoked, he just attacks. Alright, we have to get around this ridge here. So we'll come around this way. Hearing gunshots. Let's make sure our weapons are all loaded. Okay. Do we take the... let's take the bike. Has anybody been here? No. Upgrade? Upgrade? Excellent. I thought I saw... Must be outside. Some slurp. Oh, it's upstairs. Ah, quick. What is that? A Ranger assault rifle. Alright, we'll upgrade to the blue. Let's grab the splash really quick. Alright, that got us up to 100. And let's grab this. Didn't mean to hit the tree. Wow. Yeehaw. I see it. Can we get in and get out of here without getting killed? Nice. Put now turn, pick that up. Need to stash. It's coming. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Where's the bike? Where's the, Oh, we're going up the side of the Daily Bugle. We need to go around it. Alright, hold on. Here we go. That helped. Man, they almost killed me. Alright, we gotta grab this really quick. Hurry, 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 hurry. Where's my gun that I had? Take some shields. Where'd they go? Not up there. See him that way. Not worth it. Stay down in the valley here. Easier to hide from long distance shots down here. Storm is just cranking up behind us. Hold on 1 second. Kill my ping. There we go. Really wish I had my bike back to make this journey. This is a long run. Oh. That's a sniper rifle. Should stop here in just a bit. Shoot, I see somebody down there. Maybe if I'm hiding behind the edge of the storm here, they won't notice me. Until after it stops. just saw him down there. Where'd he go? I don't really have time. Need to get ahead of the storm this time. This running right in front of the... Oh. Down below where she can see. And then hook back. Nope. Kept going. Where'd she go? Literally, where did she go? That's weird. She must have stopped and hid somewhere. Which means she'd be behind me. I hear Santa. Let's see if anybody's gonna be an easy target. Oh, we got each other. I shot them right as they shot me. That was funny. All right. So let's see. We thanked the bus driver. We collected fragments at the landmarks. And we have now completed 6 quests for Shanta. Which means we should now have a new piece of armor from her. Which is pretty cool. Uh, 5 battle stars. Awesome. And yep, the new leggings. Okay, the new leg armor. Alright, so we are going to go to our locker. We're going to load Shanta's character. And we will go to her. We will edit her style. And we will add the leg armor. And equip. And save. Save to slot. Alright. And all the rest of the stuff is in the battle pass. We've been collecting. Okay, so we have 7 stars that we can use. Let's see, we own all these, we own this. So we'll just keep going. I guess we can just go up the edge here. Oh, claim that. Okay, so now we have Ronin's vest, and then some V-Bucks. So let's see, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 and 8 is 16. So that's 4 more levels. I have 6, we have like 6 more levels to finish this page off. Oof. But once we finish that page off... Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, it's a lot more than that. Because once we get this character, then all of these bits and pieces that we've purchased are earned or won or however you want to call it. Those all belong to this character. You know, with the exception of Ronan here. All the rest of them belong to this character. And then there's some more additives down there for it. Okay, so we're going to go back to play. We are going to go to... we're going to jump to the... There we go. The alien costume. Alright, so let's look at our quests. So this one, it wants us to swim at 3 different locations. If the storm played nice, we could do all of these in one fell swoop, but it's only 750 XP. So that's a lot of effort for a very minimal payout. Let's see, the 3 season things. Jump through the flaming rings. Collect stored items from a tent. Oh, I didn't make it out of that round, so I didn't make it out with my tent. Rats. So I assume that that tent is no longer there. So, yeah, I'm not sure how this works. Collect stored items from a tent. Let's see. Damage opponents while sliding. No, that's just gonna be happenstance. So, milestones. Thanking the bus driver in another 10 rounds. We'll get that automatically. Placing in the top 10. There's 6 more of those. Spending bars. We just need to spend a little bit more to get that. Catching fish, destroying trees, hunting. I'm thinking maybe the fishing and the hunting. Maybe we'll take that on. Since those are kind of related to one another. Hunting and fishing. So we'd need to land on a coastline or by one of the lakes. Fish, and then pick up a weapon to hunt with. I'm trying to think of areas that are prone to having animals. To having both fishing and hunting. I'm thinking like near the mountains, the mountain areas. Because inevitably I seem to run into wolves up there. Let's see, 60 to 75. Let's see. Okay, hold on 1 second. No. No. Oh, are you kidding me? It keeps switching. Oh, it's broken again. Yeah, 'cause look. Let's try this one. Equip. Okay, it's staying. and it changes. And it stays. And it changes. That's really frustrating. I don't want to hear that obnoxious song all night. Okay, so we were thinking, oh, let's see, Shanta's. Collect fragments near characters. We have 3 more. Look how close all 3 of these are. Think we can pull it off in 1? Maybe 2? I'm thinking it's possible. So, we are going to do this. We'll do Sanctuary first. Then Coney, then Bugle. The Daily Bugle is the local spicy joint. There's always people in there, and they are always itching for a gunfight. So I always try to avoid that area until it calms down as people move across the map. Yeah, we should be able to do Sanctuary, Coney, Bugle. And then we could knock that one out too. Okay, so exit and play. So we'll do the hunting and fishing one after this. Make the song stop. I had mentioned this. I had sent some feedback to Epic about the whole locker situation and the fact that they give you items that you really have no choice but to take. You can't not have them. They give them to you. And the odd thing is you also can't delete them. So once you have it, that's it. You're stuck with it. Which seems rather odd to me. That as a player, it should be your locker and you choose what's in there and what's not. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the deal is there as to why we're not allowed to delete. Because if we can buy things, and those are things we've literally paid money for, we should have the option to delete them if we want to. Alright. Getting a bird's eye view here. I'm not seeing anything blue from up here. I'm also not seeing the character marker. Alright, we've got a gun. Where's the identifier? We almost jumped down on top of that character. Where is... let's see, what do we can get rid of that. Alright, where are they? Whoop. I'm not seeing... I'm not seeing the usual 3 dots to tell me that there's a character here. NPCs normally have like a symbol that shows up on the map. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to those. Let's get our weapon back out. Okay, we haven't been in here yet. Alright, we'll swap that out. We'll swap that out. And we'll swap our inventory stack. Like so. Where is it? There it is. Oh, blue sniper. Okay, Stinger, MK, sidearm. And I have to give up the sidearm. As much as I want to have that with me. Okay, so map, quests, Shanta, this. Here. Oh, we're inside the zone still. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, let's buzz downstairs really quick. Oh, hello. Oh, no, that's not an exit. Oh, there's another chest. Good grief. This place is just filled with chests. Okay. That way. I'm gonna jump down. Trying to figure out how to get out of this place is like a maze. None of the buggies are here. None of the cars are here. Storm's about to move. Running with our sniper is probably a bad idea. It's not a very quick weapon to react with. It's more of a long-term planning weapon. Keep our eye to the sides of the screen, looking for any movement. Making sure we're not being... Okay, I hear a vehicle moving. It's a big pot. All right, there's my marker. Where's the... Shoot. Let the NPC take care of him. There's the stuff. Is there. Alright. Thank you, Mr. NPC. Where's my marker? There it is. Okay, we should be able to jump down. Is that? Oh, that's a taxi. Swipe this taxi. It has no tires. And that's on rims. Mind. James, hey, how are you? Dutch, how's it going? Oh, Dutch, I'm sorry. Stream. You got timed out again. I don't know why. I don't know why Stream Elements is so touchy about exclamation marks. It doesn't. It apparently doesn't like people being excited. I don't know why. All right. So here? Question mark? Are you? Oh, up there. I don't think I've ever... Have I ever noticed that before? I don't think I've ever seen it before. No touchy. This doesn't look familiar. Oh, somebody's coming. Oh, wait a second. Is it the... It's the NPCs. Yeah, it's the NPCs. Okay, I'm not sure if that's at me or not. I need to double check what's going on here. I'm there. I'm where the marker is. Oh, come on, this is gonna be fun. Come out. Come on. James, you got timed out too. What is... Okay, so yeah, lots of exclamation marks or question marks. Apparently it doesn't like punctuation. It's having an issue with punctuation. Okay, so this is supposed to be, quote unquote, near a character. Oh, crap. Surprise. My gun has lots of bullets. What you got here? An auto shotty. Yeah. Okay, I am super confused. My reason said it can't read hieroglyphics. That's interesting. There's no character here. I don't understand. I'm running out of the storm's right behind me. I gotta go. Oh, come on. I just had one more. Why is it not here? Mud. Alright. I need to be able to turn left. I'm on a brick wall here. Can I turn left, please? Oh, I see somebody up ahead. Oh, come on, let me up the wall. Oh my God, let me build. Oh, for the... I don't know where they went. think you need to be in a... Well, this... Oh, I need to be in a... If it's over water? Because for some reason that one... That's the only one that wasn't right where they said it was going to be. Yeah, oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. This. Oh, well, that's part of the problem. I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, I needed to go all the way up here. Okay, this is a wash. So we just need to play this out. You know, it's weird that I can't finish the quest when I click on the wrong quest. I don't know why that happens. Said the dumb man. I almost shot that NPC. What do we got? 12 left. Mana mana ba 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 da da. Mana mana ba ba ba. Mana mana. I don't remember this being... I don't remember this having planted like rice in it. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's neat. Okay, feeling super exposed. I got a swingy boy. I got somebody with a sniper rifle. Swingy boy's getting closer. Make sure I'm loaded. Swingy boy's getting a lot closer. Oh, I see him. I just shot that guy as he jumped over the ledge. That scared me. Okay. 5 left. 4 and me. Drink quick. I'm gonna jump in the bushes, do a little spray tan. Alright. Oh, gotta go. What are the chances somebody's just waiting for me to pick this stuff up? Or are there people left? Okay, I see a fire being started down there. There's nowhere to hide. Okay. wrong direction. Storm's over here. Am I in a bush again? Hey now. Let's leave my proclivity for hiding in bushes out of this. Just a man standing by a rock. One problem with that gun is how long it takes to reload. Darn it. That was a clean shot. Alright. She's running the edge of the circle. Now this is a smart maneuver. You just keep running around the edge of the circle, giving the other person basically nowhere to hide until they out themselves. Oh, and she spotted him. And there's the drop. And that was a clean shot. Oh. That was a clean shot. Yeah. Yeah, I lost fair and square to a good player. Luna ships. That was, yeah. Fair and square. Oh, well. So what are you guys up to tonight? What is going on? It has been, I have been playing this game literally all day. and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. When we got together and played this morning, after we got done, I kept playing. And then Rose came back on for a little while and we played. And then she logged back out. And then I played solos for a while. And then another one of my friends jumped on and we played squads for a while, duos. And then they jumped off. And then Kat jumped on later. She's like, hey, do you want to do squad? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And so we played for a while. And then she had to go because it was like really late at night over there. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to stream now. I might as well just keep playing. You're playing New World. Nice. I'm just saying, if anybody wants to, we're more than welcome to squad up. Because all I'm doing at this point is I'm just knocking quests down one by one. Except for the quests that I click on the wrong things. But outside of that, so my choices are to go to the Daily Bugle, out here in the middle of nowhere, or condos. I think I'm going to go for out in the middle of nowhere. Hop in for one more solo and I will come jump. Okay. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to knock off this other, this last quest. I have my characters set on random, so each time I play, it randomly picks one of my presets and throws them out. So we are now playing as Neymar Jr., the world-famous football player, that I had, because I don't follow football, I had never heard of them before this game. I felt bad about that. But to be fair, football has only in very recent times started becoming anywhere near as popular here as it is elsewhere in the world. Currently, St. Louis is in the process of building our Major League Soccer stadium, our very first Major League Soccer stadium. We did have an indoor soccer league, and they were called the St. Louis Steamers, because the steamboats we had on the river and stuff, so they were the St. Louis Steamers. and they were phenomenal. I loved watching them. That was awesome, and that was back when I was in high school. So it has been, well, we're not going to say how long, but it's been a long time since we had a soccer team. So I'm looking forward to St. Louis having football once again. Cleveland State. Okay, just for sake of reference, I wasn't making my character run. He was just running on his own. That was interesting. Alright. So we got a quick drop on this one. It may be spicy. Let's see what happens. Touch. I saw that. Streamlabs. Time Dutch out again. He's misbehaving. No. And there it is, literally right on the marker. Okay, well, that quest is done. I guess we'll run up here to this house. Oh, there's an NPC here. I may have already met them, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I've been to this one before. Yeah, this is like the bar. Oh, there's another player. I don't have a gun. That was a little too close for comfort. Oh, that's the door outside. Basement. Fireflies. Ice machine. Slurpy slurp. Alright. It's a rather large spider web. Jump box, alright. What, here? Above me. Oh, I just killed the icebox that was up there. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's outside. Nice. Blue sniper. What am I getting rid of? Fireflies, as much as I like them. Slurp. Where's that music coming from? he just wanders around aimlessly. There's literally nothing up here. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to bail. Is there a car out here? Sun's going down, that's good. I've still got 3 minutes. Do I have time to find a car or to find where those fire hoops are? Chicken. Oh, a chicken. That counts as wildlife. One of my quests is to find wildlife. I don't think you can stop the terrible... Yeah, come on down to the butter barn. That wasn't a bad impression. Okay, so this... We gotta go this direction. Go around the outside. I sniped a chicken. Yeah, I know. I feel bad about it, but... There's one of the quests is hunting. And they count as hunting. Which I think is kind of unfair, but... I feel like a bad person. This game makes me feel like a bad person. Okay, somebody's up here. I'm just cutting through. Inside here. There. Nope, but we're gonna use this. That was not what I meant to do. Now it's a matter of principle. Oh. It's no longer a matter of principle. Go, 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 go. I've got a minute and 18 seconds. I hear someone right by me. It's a boar. That scared the heck out of me. Let's see, reload. Thank you. Reload. 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 Okay, that sounded like somebody just... It sounded like somebody dropped right behind me. That was weird. Is the circle like on the edge of the island? Good grief, I'm running all the way across the island. Ah. They stopped moving when I did. Where'd they go? That scared the living crap out of me. I ran right up behind that guy with a purple sniper. Hold on. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, here's the chicken. Nope. He's over this way somewhere. He's walking back the other way. There's 11 people left and I'm hunting a chicken. Something inherently... Whoop. Didn't mean to go outside. On the wall? Yep, sure enough. Okay, we're stocked up and ready to go. Let's do this. And I run directly into a tree. Alright, 7 others left. Get into this tall grass here. Below me? Oh, it's in the roof. All right. No, I'm not gonna. Oh, oh, there they are. Out from behind the tree, sir. Whoa. What the heck was that? He just like yeeted himself. How did he even do that? Oh, he must have the Spidey thing. Storm's right behind me. I've only got like 45 seconds. I need him to go away. Alright, I gotta go. I don't want to take a chance on getting forced out. Different. Oh, maybe he'll be distracted by Santa. Crap. Duck. I see him. Behind that tree. How did he know to go where the storm... before the storm even closed? Where's player number 2? I need them to come into play right about now so they can distract each other so I can get out of this bush. And there he is. Right on cue. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Twice in a row, I ran out of bullets at the last second. Twice. I ran out of bullets at the last second. Oh, well. Who was that? Big Pete. Good job, Big Pete. Alright, back to the lobby. Alright. Well, as they say, you can't win them all, but it would be nice if it happened once in a while. Hey, there's James. Let's... let's see. James, do you just want to do in-game voice, like team voice, or do we want to jump on my Discord, or it's up to you, whatever works best for you. Because I noticed we're both muted on.
I have in-game chat on, so that's fine. I'm talking to Dutch on Discord too, so.
Oh, okay. All right, so I will do, let's see, party members, you, okay, so I need, there we go. Check to. No, go back to this. Open mic in party. Okay, so can you hear me through the game?
Sorry, I just realized that you can hear my typing now.
Okay, it looks like
make sure you have open mic turned on, not just push it talk.
Yeah, I've got open on, voice volumes at 100, default channel is party.
Perfect. I can hear you in chat now.
Okay. I'm assuming... Hold on 1 second. Sorry, had to cough.
Dutch says he loves you.
Aww. Much love to Dutch.
Let me know where you want to go. I'll do whatever. I know you're trying to get quests done and stuff, so happy to help. If matchmaking ever happens. Oh, you're still readying up. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw the matchmaking in the swirl circle.
Oh. I'm going to go into my locker.
Yes, please do. I'm in no rush at all.
I'm going to disable shuffle, and I'm going to pick a character that I always look like, because I realize that when you're playing teams with people, if you keep changing the way you look, it's really hard for them to discern who's on the team. Nice. Oh, you know what we could do? You know what we could do? We're gonna go pro. Heck yeah. Team Krampus.
Yes.
All right, so let's see. As far as quests are concerned, so Shanta, I don't have any of these. Do you have any quests that you're doing?
I can be super flexible. The only one I have right now is the Winterfest one, is to search under a holiday tree, collect gem fragments high in the air for Shanta, and using crossroads in a vehicle, which I hate using cars in this game. They're not discreet.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I've noticed this in this particular chapter or season or whatever. Mm-hmm. There have been at least 3 now, I think, that I've done that required a car.
Yes.
So it's been interesting. They've added more of them. Mm-hmm. And I noticed this time that like all the roads actually connect.
Yeah.
Like you can literally drive almost all the way around the entire. Yeah. So they've added a whole driving element to the game. Now I do know for a fact that there is a Christmas tree with what am I trying to say? With chests underneath it. Right. Literally right here.
Awesome.
So that is one that we could knock out because we will land directly on top of it. And you can just go, and I think there's at least 2 or 3 chests around it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, I just looked at all my quests. I don't have any that are in a specific place aside from some random Shanta ones, but they're not like, they're all things I have to build up to because I'm doing the ones that are all high in the air right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're not ones I can really start with because I don't have the mats to build up to them to start with.
Yeah.
Team Krampus.
Yay. We will sit by the door. She's got like the Little Red Riding Hood kind of something going on here. That's cool. Yeah, I dig that costume. And obviously she's listening to licensed music because I can't hear what she's dancing to. Oh wow, we are gonna get dropped like right off the bat.
That's okay, we're gonna crush it.
Nice. Go Team Krampus. Also, 10 out of 10 for the realistic reindeer sound. The running?
Yes. It's so
That's
good.
epic.
The Christmas trees right here that I'm gonna go to. Thank you, got that objective done. Oh, and it leveled me up. Nice. There's a MK there, a green MK, and a blue sniper. Okay. I won't use either.
Ooh.
Here you go. Here's your stream content.
Nice.
Oh, there's people shooting over here. maybe I'll get out. I'm also gonna buy a shotgun real quick, even though there's someone shooting at me.
So if I just stand here, like with the rest of these,
you'll just fit right in.
Can I shoot while I'm in here?
You know what? I can honestly say I've never tried.
No, I can't. I have to stop hiding.
Fire.
Okay. Oh, I just got shot. Running inside the door.
Killed a team. There's someone else in here.
Yes, there is.
They're dead?
They were the ones who were shooting me outside. I'm not very happy with them. That hurt.
I have 7 people watching me right now.
You just slaying.
I threw a mini up to you. I don't know if you need one. Oh, that's you. Jeez. I'll throw a mini up here.
Oh, did I? Oh, they knocked the stairs out. Okay. Mini.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Hey, for you, Team Maz, anything.
Aww. Alright. Oh, we had these stairs. Okay. I wonder if there's anything behind the counter. No. How are we looking? Where's the storm center? Oh, it's not too bad.
Oh, it's not. Yeah,
actually
it's not, yeah, it's not the worst.
That's within running distance.
There's an NPC over here that I'm gonna go talk to. I think it's the duck that's over here.
Yeah, she's in the middle one. And then up at the main building is the teddy bear.
The cuddle bears. Oh, actually, this is the Deadpool bear that's in the bathroom that I saw. Present for you. There's a purple sniper over here if you'd like it.
Oh, upgrade.
Yeah, it's in the building where that NPC is. Right next to you.
The duck was in here. For
some
reason she's not. Because I'm in the duck room smashing all the beds. To get gold. As you do.
Duh. Obviously.
Oh, I just ran right into...
I don't know how you feel about shotguns, but there's a blue one there.
You must be so excited to meet me. I am excited to meet you. You're Cuddle Pool. You're awesome. Thanks, Cuddle Pool.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas.
That scared me a little. Alright, so I'll take that. Okay, so Kat and I were talking earlier about the fact that we couldn't figure out where some of the NPCs were.
Yeah, I was looking. Because I remember I saw the zombie Jonesy, and you and I were talking about how you hadn't seen it, but I don't remember where I have seen him.
And I have been in that building. I'm gonna say 20 times.
Yeah.
And the Deadpool cuddle
Yeah.
bear has never been in there before.
You know what?
So I just met her for the first, he or she for the first time. They. So I'm guessing that there is a randomizer now where sometimes characters are where they're supposed to be and sometimes they're not. So, which is that, I mean, that adds a kind of a cool element to it, that you have to play more to collect the whole bunch. So
I also feel like in the past they've done where they haven't released certain NPCs till later in the season.
Yeah, because is it season or chapter? I never understand which is which. Because we're season...
This is the new chapter.
So this is chapter 3, season 1. Okay. So the last one in chapter 2, there were multiple times where I was like, hey, I got all the NPCs.
Yeah.
And then they do an update, and I'm like, hey, I don't even have half the NPCs. Like, there's a whole bunch of new ones.
Oh, Chimaz, I have a big pot for you.
Oh, thanks.
It's right behind you. I'll pick up those minis. There it is. Oh, and the storm's moving in.
I'm going to...
I'm going to go over to this side because the shark is right in the middle of the normal path we would swim in.
Oh, there is a stone out here. Fragment. Don't know why there was a fragment there, but there was. Jinkies.
If you follow the river to the left, it'll bring you right into the zone.
I'm not going to mention the fact that I almost started aiming to the right.
When you get to the fort, you're going to go to the right.
And then in my head said, no, your other left.
It's okay. I very rarely know the difference.
Well, it's hard when you're holding the keys because you can't hold your hand up and go, oh,
yeah.
All right, we're inside, and okay, we're down to 34 other, and it's been so quiet so far.
Well, I've killed 3 people already, T-Mouse.
Oh, that's true. It's been quiet for me because I haven't had to shoot anybody.
Our zone's not bad either. We're like right near.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're like right on the edge of it here. Look, oh, you're way over there. Okay. Whoa, that's the first time I saw that. Hold on, back up. Swim backwards against the stream. Okay, they got a lot better with the graffiti. That's really cool.
It is, you're right. I just jumped down off the bridge so I could see it too.
That's sharp. Okay. I get distracted by the pretty. It happens.
Oh no, what, did I just run out of wood? I might have. There we go.
That was fun.
I'm trying to get better with my building.
I have found myself recently playing this game, and when we start doing stuff like that, we're running and jumping on things, I start doing parkour. Parkour. From The Office. And then I start laughing to myself because I think of the episode of The Office where they do that. And like nobody else knows what I'm laughing about, and I'm like, okay, now I feel dumb. I'm over giggling to myself.
Very well.
Like parkour. Parkour.
I don't know if you use Stinger, but there's a blue one up at the top.
I do.
And T-Maz, if you wouldn't mind, come eat an apple.
Oh, I do have enough.
Your health is like, just shy of 100.
Yeah. Can't use that.
There is someone sniping to our left over near, I think I saw 75 before it disappeared. More like 53.
I see a rock up there.
I got a rock. There's also someone driving something.
I was gonna say, I thought I heard a car.
I have a feeling it's on the other side of this hill.
Okay, I see a lot of bits and pieces where somebody died. Oh, no, that's an empty chest. So somebody got into that. Oh, there's a mini. I can pick that up. So
do you like the MKs? I just dropped a blue one if you would like it. Make sure I'm all reloaded on my guns.
Reload.
Grab this med kit.
Reload. Load. Alright, down to 16. 14 other than us. It is way too quiet.
Yeah, it's a little... For there being 16 people left, I agree.
Okay. Not seen anybody else up on the top of that hill. I'm gonna look this direction.
And our red outfits are very discreet against this very white snow.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, there's a sniper. He's up by the like 82.
Okay.
He's trying to clock us. Yep. Yep.
Figured I'd let him clock me. Oh, he's got me good too. They're whited?
Oh, and somebody just went across the...
Ooh, this guy's got a lot of gold guns. He's got a gold sniper for you, T-Naz. He's got a gold SMG for you. He's got a blue ranger for me.
Somebody's up in that hut over by the zip line.
Okay.
They just knocked the roof off, so they probably are going to be coming out the door here in just a second. Oh, missed. Oh, missed again. That's a long shot. Not enough. Oh, I'm out of ammo.
All right, give me a second. I might have some. There's also some right in front of there.
Swapping out for the gold sniper.
There you go. There's a lot more snipe ammo right there.
Oh, thanks.
Right here too. I just dropped 50.
Nice.
I'll pick up your extra just so I can carry it if needed.
Ooh. Damn it, missed again. They're moving too fast. I can't get a lock on them.
Here, I just split my AR stack with you too because I see you need more.
Okay. All right, we got, yeah, we're on top of the hill. Everyone's coming from different directions.
Yeah, there's people way up there on top of that hill. Let me carry those minis for right now, might as well. Have an open slot. I'm also trying to walk. Oh, someone's right behind us. It'd be awesome if I wasn't a terrible shot right now. Nice. Another gold SMG. Nope, wrong button.
They go.
Is that shield potion broken? I'm gonna hit this big pot quick.
I lost track of them.
Coming back to
They're
you.
there. All right, we've got some to the southwest.
I'm gonna move my ping out of the way.
They're eventually going to start coming up this hill because they're running out of space.
Yep.
We somehow have managed to get ourselves right in the middle of the. Oh,
Yeah,
we've got
there's
a
a
builder over
quad
here.
coming over there. There's 2 other teams left. 6 total. They're driving over here.
Just flushed a sniper out of a bush.
Nice. Oh, yep. I just saw him
and
try
he
to
just
snipe back.
shot me. Have to
It's
keep
fine.
moving.
We're still in a good spot. You right? Up on this hilltop. There's 2 of them.
Missed. Ooh.
God, I'm terrible with a sniper. Coming up over here. They're in the storm. One just slid down the hill. Oh no, team
I was
ass.
on fire. Yeah, I was on fire.
Oh no.
It's up to you. Yeah, there are snipers. They're because the sniper guns are so prevalent. Now it's like everybody's got one.
Yeah.
And
They really are friggin' everywhere now. Let me just reload. Darn.
hey, that's a stormtrooper. They can't hit anything. He's not a character. Yeah, he's really good with that sniper rifle.
Well, it is Derek from Popeyes. Oh, at least he won. If I'm gonna lose, I'm glad I at least got killed by the winner.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Nah, 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 nah. Well done, Derek from Popeyes.
Yeah, no problem.
That's an interesting game. I'm sure there's music along with that is licensed, and that's why I can't hear what they're doing.
There is, and it was very loud music.
Oh, okay. All right. Beach ball. Beach ball. Beach ball. Beach ball. Easily used. Beach ball.
Ooh, where would you like to go?
Driver?
I've done all my specific location quests.
Oh, I didn't look. Let me look real quick. Quests. Chanta. Collect gem fragments at docks. Here.
Awesome.
Just cause. Right on the edge of the snow and the sand. Is there anything? Oh, this is a bad location.
I'm gonna go to this house that's up on the hill. There's a zip line that leads me right down to where you'll be. Just so I can make sure we can get some loot.
Yeah, just so we don't die within 5 minutes after you get your Luckily there's a chest in here, and at least there's a gun.
Yeah, I at least have an AR, so I'll be okay.
Let's see, got a striker. Don't want the spicy. Oh, the stinger I'll take.
I have a blue MK I'm gonna bring you. Oh, you do have someone near you, friend.
What's that?
There is people near us.
I'm getting shots fired up and across the way. Up by where you are.
Yeah, they're up over here. They just built a lot, so I'm not gonna bother with them because they'd rather give you my nice gun.
Okay.
And not use all my ammo. I saw you kill that wildlife.
Milestone completed. Frog dead. I feel bad.
I did eat your spicy fish.
Oh, good. Good, good.
I like to be feist. It makes me face.
That there. I want that there. And now I can get rid of this fishing pole.
Yes. Big fan.
Okay. We did what we came to do. Whee! Yay! Storm is... Okay. I'll follow you. Wildlife.
That's going to bring us right into a gas station.
Oh,
So
cool.
we can get a little better loot. So I'm experiencing an interesting thing right now, Timez, where I'm also talking to Dutch. And so I'm having conversations with two of you. So if I say something that doesn't make sense, then I'm talking to Dutch. Ooh, have your present.
Oh, present. Cheers. Oh. It blew up the mobile home around me.
That's kind of the goal.
Like, 1 minute I was standing in it, the next it no longer existed.
There's some Chug Splash here you can take. I just brought myself to 100, and there's some more Chug Splash right there as well.
Okay,
I dropped the wrong gun.
Somehow my inventory got all jacked up again. That's supposed to be there. That's supposed to be there. Like that. So I was talking to my nephew like a week or so ago, and he said there's a way to set preferences on what goes in what slot.
Yes, so that was introduced in the last season. I don't know how to do it anymore, but yes, you can.
And I was like, okay, I definitely need
it's
to do that.
It's wonderful.
Because,
like I have in my first slot my AR, then my shotgun.
Yeah, so that whenever I pick something up, it just goes where I need it to be, and I don't have to keep doing this.
Yeah, you don't have to manually rearrange.
Hold on, I have to keep rearranging everything every time we do something. Oh, hello, gun machine. You're not selling what I want. Oh wait, what was that other gun? Yeah, no. Just Ranger assault rifles.
Ooh.
There's a green auto in here.
I have a
What's that
gold
under the
pump,
stairs?
so I'm solid for a
It's an MK7. I already have that.
shoddy. Oh, there's someone over here. I'm gonna go kill them. Because I'm mad at them.
Well, yeah. They had it. To be fair, they had it coming.
Come back here, young man. I'm not done murdering you.
Nice. I have not done with you yet. I'm
He's
curious
dead.
where the teammate is.
He instant died, so his teammate's probably dead as well.
Oh, okay. This place is just lousy with... Oh, nice. That is a blue sniper. Big bucket.
Big bucket.
I'll take that.
No.
Slurp. Yeah, so basically all I need is like just...
Ooh, the storm's
truckloads
coming
of
in,
ammo.
friend.
Jinkies. You want to take these?
Yeah. I do. That's exactly what I want to do, in fact.
Vroom, vroom.
Oh, I accidentally moved my seat. Please stop doing that. Thank you. Be honest, T-Maz. Okay, good night, Dutch.
Night, Dutch. People, thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate you. I'm hearing shots.
I'm shooting down the balloon.
Oh, okay. Just box just falls out of the sky. Kabang! I'll provide some semblance of protection in case somebody is being snipey.
Oh, we've got a long way to go. We might want to keep these quads.
Okay. And we've only got a minute left,
Yeah,
so...
let's hop.
That boar went flying in the air. I mean, that shouldn't be as funny as it was, but that was really funny. Oof.
Oh, straight ahead of me?
Oh, we are being shot.
Oh, they jumped out on a launch pad. But I might just hit their launch pad too rather than fly. Oh no.
Oh, man.
Oh, yep.
Okay.
I see where they are. They're building up on a thing.
Trying to get to cover. And they are shooting all around me.
Stop. Whoever's trying to shoot me from the right is a terrible shot.
Oh, they are hitting the
Yeah.
truck. Please don't blow up.
Okay,
Please don't
I'm
blow
gonna
up.
heal you
Please
quick
don't
and run
blow up.
away. Gotcha.
It knocked me down again.
Oh no.
I just started walking away.
Someone's right on me. Someone got clever.
Nice. They're playing hide and go seek. Like, no, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Okay, so we inadvertently collected 2 gem fragments at docks. I don't know where we got the second one. I'm not sure why we're not ready to grab that.
Mine says you are not ready though.
Oh.
Mine now says you're
There it
ready
goes.
though.
Okay, now I gotta check mark. Yeah, for some reason I had like the delayed check mark thing. Boom.
Ooh, that player had a cool glider, the one that looks like a rift.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're glad, and it was really loud too,
Yeah.
like a rift.
T-Man should be really proud of me today. My cousin's girlfriend's son had his Switch and was playing Fortnite, and you better believe I went on there and gamed him. He's 8. He was very impressed. He thought I was very cool.
That's awesome.
I have a gem fragment I can get right over here if you have nowhere specific to go.
Alright.
And this should be the last one I have to get.
There was actually one of the quests I ended up having to look up how to do it because it was so frustrating. And that was right about the time when Kat pinged me, and she's like, "Do you want to play?" And I was actually on YouTube. I had YouTube open in a window. Like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? I was just completely confused. And even after I watched the video of it, I was like, okay, Unless you knew exactly where you were going, there is no way you could do that quest.
I'm going to destroy this whole building so I can build up to the jump fragment that I need.
Is it? Whoa.
Oh, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can build up to that for us. Oh, you know what? You probably just unlocked this quest to get the ones that are really high up, since you finished the docks one.
That's wild.
It's not the easiest thing to do. Here, I'll do up one. If you would like to follow me up, I will, and just right up next to me, I will do this.
Oh, then zigzag. Can you get it?
I got it.
Oh.
So it won't disappear, but you should be able to grab it now too.
Neat. Whee.
Yay! Alright. And we're actually right near the zone too. So we can go somewhere and loot up a little. We can head down here if you like.
That's fun.
Give us a little time to get some materials and loot.
Why am I not seeing your icon? Oh, there you are. Okay, maybe because I was.
Oh yeah, sorry. I went over here.
I was looking. Let's see. This is north. I was looking south. I'm like, I can't see you anywhere. Well, I wonder why. That's what happens when I look the wrong direction.
We can keep in mind when we have to go. I'll ping it. There's a. Oh, someone's on the hill. Someone's behind me. Where are they? Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, would you just blow up?
That is a gas tank. That blew up directly in my face. I was like, oh, metal. No, no, that was...
If you like an MK, there is a green MK right there. They had an SMG as well, I think. No, but they do have a sniper. Right. Let's see if I have I have 6 sniper ammo that I can drop as well. Do we want to take that zip line up? That'll bring us into the zone.
Yeah. Sure.
Ooh, I wonder if this is one of the ones that has the chest in it. Or the vault in it, rather.
I believe there is.
Nice.
Oh, and this has not been looted.
Oh, there's an NPC here, too. It's Jonesy. He has a gold sniper to buy if you would like.
Level up.
Yeah, here's the downstairs in this side of the building.
Jonesy, hey buddy, what's going on? Milestone, spend bars, yay. Oh, sorry.
That's fine, no rush. We're in the zone, so I'm down here. I don't know where you went. Oh, now you're downstairs again. Hooray!
If only this door could open slower.
Pick what you'd like. You're streamer.
Already. They don't need the sniper. I'm gonna swap out that for that. Yeah, that's it really.
Okay.
I'm not real big on the assault rifles.
You do need a big pot.
Yes.
That big pot's all yours. And I can carry these minis.
Swap that out.
There's an SMG here if that strikes your fancy.
I love listening to the NPCs.
Yeah.
Cause she.
Oh, there's someone
that's
here.
That's not either of us. Okay.
They're right here. They drove off.
They just bolted off. Yeah.
I'm also on ice. Okay. I'm out of ice blocks now. But I scared them off real quick by shooting at them.
I'm gonna see if I could see them from.
Yeah, I want to see if they're gonna try to sneak around the other direction. They were solo, so.
Yep.
At least when I saw them. That doesn't mean they don't have a teammate somewhere.
They just vanished into thin air. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know they headed off this way, but I don't know where they went from here.
Oh. I need to stay this direction. There we go. In the zone. Huh?
They're fun to slide in.
Did you go down the hill?
Yeah, you can slide down the hill in it.
Oh shoot. He's back.
Oh no. Okay, let me get my shield up. Coming.
He just flew over the top of me, literally.
Oh, yep, I hear him. He's over here. He's knocked. He's dead.
Looking for his teammate. I think he must be by himself.
Yeah, he didn't instantly die, so he has a teammate somewhere. Just don't know where. feeling.
I hear Spider-Man.
Okay, I thought I heard one as well.
Yep, I see him.
Yep, he's over here again.
There's two of them.
There's two of them flying to us.
Not the teammate.
Ooh, he hurt me. Oh, it knocked me. There's two right here. They're very hyper-focused on me. Nice. Yeah, Team Az!
Revive.
Thank you.
That was with a... Oh, that's all your stuff, I think.
No, my stuff didn't drop. That's theirs. But I do see.
Oh, okay.
They have a blue pump shotgun.
They've got like a little bit of everything here. Like going shopping. Oh, I just picked up an absolute truckload of here. Yeah, 18.
Oh, thank you.
Shotgun.
That gold snipey is all yours.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Right after I bought one.
Oh,
from
someone
Jonesy.
just rebooted. Right on the other side of this hill.
I'm wondering if that is the guy that we shot.
Oh, baby.
Wait, no, they would have had to come over here to
Oh
get
yeah,
his
to
card.
get his card, and they definitely have.
Yeah,
So
and
that
nobody
was someone
stopped
else.
by. All right, so how we? Oh, so the storm's over this way.
Oh, let's head towards the storm. Oh, Team S, you need some shields.
Yes. Oh yeah, I took a hit.
Oh, you got him?
I got a couple, yeah. There we go. Reload. Reload. Reload.
Ooh, right up on the hill. I don't know who they were shooting at, but I'm gonna take that gold. If you like the Ranger, I just dropped a purple one.
Replenishing my shields because people keep knocking them out of me. I just heard a Spider-Man.
And we are flowing just on the cusp of that storm. There is someone nearby because I just saw a crown drop on our maps. Oh, I hit Max Wood. You know how I feel about that. Great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not there. Oh, there they are. Down there. I got a builder. Don't see them though. I don't know where they went.
There's a
so I
snowy
don't know if
butthole.
they've abandoned already.
Yeah, that looks like an old build. Normally it's still kind of flashing when there's people, when it's
Oh,
recent.
nope, he's right there.
Oh, okay.
He just went behind the bush, so he's probably gonna snipe. I'm gonna switch to a different weapon.
Oh, yep, he sniped me.
Are you hurt? Are you?
I just took some shield damage. I'm okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's over here. He's whited. He's knocked. Oh, there's another one inside the bush. Nice. Right here. They're trying to build. Dang.
Rats?
Yeah, there was someone also up on the opposite hill.
Yeah. And he's the one who won. He got all of us.
Yep.
That's because I knew someone was sniping from the other side, but I couldn't see him.
Yeah, me neither.
He was like really well aligned behind a tree or something.
I am off to bed.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much, T-Mess.
That was fun.
If I don't talk to you, have a very Merry Christmas.
All right, you too. You too. All right, I'm gonna return to the lobby. That song is still playing. I will claim the stars. I forgot I was in game chat and hung up. That's no problem at all. Have a good night. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Alright, we are going to go here and I'm going to turn this back off. There we go. Yep, back to push to talk. That way I don't accidentally... not accidentally talking to everybody in the game as we're playing. We got a new career marker. Bounty sniped. Eliminated someone who is someone else's bounty target during Chapter 3. Nice. That was fun. And we won a duos match. Flipping the script. Defended a teammate who had a bounty. And I earned the pistol expert today at some point. Oh, that was this morning at 7:20. Like I said, I've been playing this game all day. You can see 7:20, 8:17, 3:30, and then 11:30 at night. Yeah, all day. I've been playing all day. Okay, so let's go to our battle pass since we have some more stars. Let's see, we got all of this stuff around this edge. So, oh, we have 7, so we can get this now. That's cool. Claim that. Okay, so we just have these 3 items left to get, and then this unlocks, and page 5 will be done. We're not gonna go to the... Oh, we'll go back to the locker, and we will re-enable shuffle. Deathstroke, nice. Very cool. I'll tell you what, I've been playing for about 2.5 hours, and I haven't like gotten up to refill my drink or move around or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the most brief of intermissions. I am going to... There it goes. All right. Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick, brief intermission. If you need to use the restroom, get a drink, stretch your legs, whatever you need to do, now is a fantastic time to do it. I am probably going to run a couple ads just to get that out of the way while the BRB screen is on. And that should free us up for later. So, yeah, we will be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a good evening. If you're watching this live, if you're watching later on the VOD or later on the video, whatever day it might be, I hope it's going well for you. And I hope things are going okay. And that you're doing okay. Let's see here. We are going to go ahead and just jump straight back into the game. All right. Oh, we need to change this. Otherwise, we're going to get randomly paired up. And he keeps playing that same song over and over. It is trying to drive me bonkers. Okay. We've got our dailies done. The seasonal ones are just happenstance. Now, wait a second. Collect stored items from a tent. Now it says 1 of 2. At what point did I get into a tent or take anything out of a tent? I mean, I haven't done that literally in like hours since earlier today. But I am so confused by this. I think this may be bugged. I think something might be wrong with it. Because that just doesn't make any sense. Alright, so we are on tier 4 milestones. Let's see. Thanking the bus driver, that's an automatic. Place in the top 10. 32 out of 40. Oh, catching fish. We could go catch a bunch of fish. We said we were going to try to do that earlier. Because we got the hunting one done. Well, we didn't get it done. We moved up to the next tier. Reboot teammates. Complete bounties. Eliminations. Foraged items. Damage opponents. Harvesting is getting closer. We need to keep harvesting. I really need to remember to do that. Just keep breaking things as we're going. Just doesn't matter what it is. Just keep breaking things. So yeah, the hunting wildlife, we could knock that out. How much? That only gives us 8k though. Do we have any bigger ones? Okay, so we still have the gem fragments at docks. The gem fragments high in the air we have now started. And gem fragments on rivers using a vehicle. Well, we said we wanted to go fishing. Maybe we'll go fishing and boating at the same time. Does it show us where they are? Oh, it does. Look at that. Okay, so where do we know there are boats? And how many of these do I have to do? 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So only 2 of these are optional. All the rest have to be done. This looks like it's all on one waterway. This kind of looks like it's on one waterway. These 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But these don't connect. So you'd have to do 7 and 8 or 7 and 8 and then 9. Okay. So I believe oh, wait. Hold on. Speaking of Camp Cuddle. Yeah, collections. Look at that. There's Cuddle Pool. And Quackling. Where was Quackling? I thought I met that one a long time ago. I would have. Oh no, I met the other bear, the metal bear, and yeah, I met Cuddle and Metal, and now we've seen Cuddle and Quackling. So we're only missing 1, 2, 3. We're only missing 4, and I'm guessing it's the same thing that happened with these, that they only show up sometimes. So after repetitive visits to the same places, these other characters are going to pop up. Now, I'm guessing because Jonesy is here and Jonesy is here, that this is going to be another variation of a Jones. And because we have Joneses here, I'm wondering if that is as well. So, I'm guessing food item, another variation of the llama, and 2 more Jonesies. But I could be completely wrong. Just a guess. Alright, we did get another fish to add to the collection, which is nice. Let's see. Let's see. So we're going to go back to the map, we're going to go back to the quests. So for this, we only need to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 3 right there. That one little area. This seems like it's going to be a quicker find than 9. So maybe we'll do this first. So we're going to land here. And hopefully go 1, 2, 3, and then move inland. Yeah, we'll try that. So let's look at the quest just real quick again. Okay, so the Long Skinny Island. So this Long Skinny Island. Whoops. This Long Skinny Island, big island in the middle. So boom, 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 come in. Okay. Sounds like a plan. I just realized I'm still holding my coffee cup. I'm surprised Dutch didn't give me a hard time about that. Like, hey, you're playing with your coffee cup again. All right. Hey, everybody. Let's see. We have thanked the bus driver. And, oh, we need to immediately drop. Because it is way over there. In fact, we might reverse order here. Just because it's going to be easier to drop. Yeah, here. Alright, so let's... There we go. Let's get over to that dock. Hot. That was a perfect landing. All right. There's one. Go away, crows. I mean, not in real life. In real life, I love crows. But in the game, go away, crows. is it this one? Must be the other one. Yep, there's number 2. Alright. We need that. Excellent. Let's take the boat. Oh, okay, boat. Chill. Alright. Now, here's the curious thing. There isn't a dock here. There's no dock here. That's a pistol. There's no dock here. Alright, hold on. Let's look at our map real quick. Quests. Shanta. Fragments at docks. It's because I'm in the wrong place. We need to be over there. I've only got 44 seconds. I don't think I'm going to make it. Alright, there's that one. Somebody's been here. These are opened. We need to bail. Where do we need to go? Let's, this is gonna be dangerous. Why do I... Oh. Sorry, I had my hand on the wrong key. Ta-da, we're in the zone. Not too bad. Okay, so none of the rest of these are available. They're all outside the scope. So, is there anything else we wanted to... let's look at our quests. Milestones... Is there a way to catch... Okay, we got fish and wildlife still. I mean, I guess we could just hunt. I could probably stand to have some better weaponry. Hi. Oh, whoa. Don't hit the IO guard. Bad things happen when you hit the IO guards. Okay, we can swap that out. Pick those up. We're going to swap for that. Storm's moving. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. I waited too long. I waited too long. Glad I picked up that health spray. I am gonna need it. Yeah, there's more planting up here. So this is, it's literally changing as we're playing. Like that corn wasn't there before. They're slowly building up areas of this as we're playing it. The game. That's kind of cool. It's not kind of cool, it's really cool. across the map am I having to run here? The whole way. That was my own fault. I was looking down at my keyboard because my pinky wasn't hitting the control key, which is what we use to slide. And when I glanced back up, I saw my health was really low. I was like, and it was too late. I was gone. All right, so how did we do there? That was a strange collection of things. So fragments at docks, we knocked all those out. We hit a couple more of these, and we will get Shanta's. Is it her mask? I think it's her mask, and then the next one is her crown. Yeah, so we just need 2 more. Unfortunately, they are all at spicy places. Sleepy Sound has the ability to be spicy. There's nothing out there. These 2 ponds tend to have people around them. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start here, and depending on where the storm goes, we'll go either here or here. Yeah, that should work. All right. And we will we'll jump in. Lots of shooty boys. Alright, and ooh, look at the stars. Look how pretty. Oh, that's really nice. Stand back here where people stop shooting at us. That's really pretty. Alright, and the bus is generous enough to literally drop us off first. Someone else landing here? Here they are. Okay. We'll grab those. Let's run inside here. It's up in the ceiling. No, it's outside. Back here behind this wall. Alright, and we'll come over here. We'll grab this. There we go. And we'll come over here. Oh, there's usually stuff in here. Okay, so let's pause for a second. And we're going to go to our quests. And here and here. And we are up here on the edge. The storm is centering. So, yep, we're going to Sleepy Sound. Because the logging yard is just... It's just... There's perpetually heat there. It's... somebody was already up here. Interesting. Alright, we need to keep our eyes open. Okay, I don't know if anybody else saw that, but there's a player named Gimme Crisps, which I just thought was quite funny. Alright, there's the ping. We're going to avoid the shining maze, and that's exactly why. We're taking the shortcut to get over there, which is basically using these zip lines. Doobie-doobie-doo. As a side benefit, bonus chest, sniper, that. Oh, shoot. I didn't even see them standing there. Yeah, you deserve to dance. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that name's okay, but... yeah, I didn't see them standing there. I just assumed nobody would be on that island. And I had the sniper rifle selected instead of having a local, you know, like a close range weapon. I'm not sure what was going through my head there, but it wasn't paying attention, that's for darn sure. Okay, so unfortunately we have to go finish this one bit of one quest here. Yeah. So we're gonna land at Sleepy, and then get the heck out of there. What else could we do while we're there? Are there other things? We could try fishing up there, but it's usually too spicy. Yeah, we'll try fishing up there. And if the storm works in our favor, we could potentially use a boat and like skim around the outside edge and maybe even catch more than we normally would on foot. We'll see. We'll see what transpires here. All right. Yeah, look how pretty that. Oh, look, the moon. That's new. I don't recall ever seeing the moon before. Have I? Have I ever seen the moon? In this game? And then the sun rises. Yeah. Maybe I just never noticed it before. I mean, I'm usually paying attention to trying to stay alive, so... The bus is getting pretty close to it. This may... It may be a little too spicy. We'll see. We shall see. See it. There we go. Oh, that was close. You put the wall there, dude. Are you gonna behave? I'm not seeing any fish in here at all. Trying to be sneaky. easier to do from land. My boat sank. Why would my boat sink? Yo, why would my boat sink in the middle of the water? Wait, why wouldn't your boat just continue floating? I'm so confused right now. Okay, so without a boat, I can't do... I want that. Without a boat, I can't do that other quest. What was that other boat? Those are a lot harder to hit than in the car. That was a gun. That was a gun. That was a fish. Storm. What just happened there? All right, we're out of the storm. And I gotta get fixed up. And somebody's got a sniper rifle. And they're being shooty. But not at me. So we're just gonna keep running. Oh. Okay. Live to see another day. Hello. Is there an upstairs here? No. So we'll need to go back out the front. And the storm's moving. Spider person is nearby. Missed. I can't wait. I gotta run. The storm's right behind me. Literally right behind me. Not for much longer. It's going to be in front of me. We're on the fast side. Alright, so of course this time, now that I am watching my health, I have nothing. Yeah, I couldn't do anything about it, even if I wanted to. Let's see if this person makes it out. Oh, okay, see, they had bandages. I didn't have bandages. They're just standing there. You think you have all the time in the world? The storm's all the way over there. You're gonna need to hustle. Because not only do you have to make it to there, but now you're losing time on when it moves next time. Alright, let's see what we've got. Let's see. Alright, quest complete. So now we... Oh, it's torso armor. Okay. Claim that. Alright, so we are going to go to... Real quick, we're going to go to our locker. We are going to load Shanta. And we are going to go to the character, and we are going to edit the style. And... there you go. And we'll equip the armor. Nice. That's cool. I dig both looks because you've got this whoops. There we go. You've got the, you know, the warrior kind of armor plated look. And then is this gonna go away? There we go. Okay. But then you can come in here and just with a couple clicks. Oh, there's two different torso armors. Okay, so there's... Okay, interesting. So you can take the armor and drop it back to this, which is more of like a, I would call it, like ceremonial armor, where it's not like for actual battle use, it's more just to look nice. Wait, I also didn't, okay, she always had, I thought she didn't have gauntlets on at first. Super level off, headwear, no headwear. Yeah, for some reason I thought she didn't have gauntlets at... But yeah, so there's like the ceremonial armor, and then there's the actual like battle armor, which I dig. I think that's very cool. Yeah, it's nice to see them give a female character, you know, actual armor, and not, you know, here, go into battle wearing a bikini. It's like, wait, what? No, that's not how that works. Okay, and all these ones you see here, they aren't her stuff. Those are all of those battle pass things that I am waiting to put onto a new character because we don't have the character yet. Alright, so we're going to save Shanta and her new armor. Save, confirm. Alright. Let's go back to Battle Pass. Yeah, we've used all of our stars. And let's see, milestones. No, we were doing the Shanta. Yeah, and because we finished that quest now, so we only have these two left to complete, and then she'll have her full body armor, the crown and the face shield. And that's collecting the gem fragments from the air and collecting them on a river using a vehicle, which is a lot trickier than it seems. But yeah, let's see. I tell you what, it is. Oh yeah, it's we're already about a half hour over. It's almost been 3.5 hours now that we've been on. Tell you what, let's go ahead and we will do this. There we go. And now we can put our controller back down and get that nice hot cup of coffee. Go. All right. That is going to do it for this stream. I want to send a huge thank you out to all the folks who stopped by, for folks who lurked, for James and Dutch stopping by. Always appreciate it. It's always wonderful to see you. Thanks to James for jumping in for some squads. That was a lot of fun, as always. Yeah, and I just want to thank Stream Elements as well for completely and totally having a hair trigger on anyone using, you know, multiple exclamation marks or question marks, viewing them as hieroglyphics. I will be writing a note to myself to take a look at that tomorrow and see if we can get that to calm down a little bit. But yeah, in the interim, between then and now, please be well, take care of one another, take care of yourself, look out for yourself and look out for the folks around you, because it's really important that we all care a little bit and keep an eye on one another and take care of one another. So that is going to do it for the stream. I may stream tomorrow. I have intended to stream in tomorrow. We'll see how much sleep I get tonight, if I'm capable of getting up and actually streaming tomorrow. But I am definitely going to give it a shot. So until then, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.